Is Joe Biden's debate prep basically that he's on drugs? Mike Johnson clears up. Is Joe Biden on cocaine? I don't know. Something's going on with that guy in debate prep. Here's Mike Johnson.
Again, and he's in a very good place. And I expect that you're going to see a sharp contrast between President Trump's positive agenda and Joe Biden's proven weakness.
What Mike Johnson's going to end up doing in this interview anyways is he ends up spilling inside knowledge because he's been meeting with Trump on the debate. So he knows he's going to spell out the main points that Trump's going to bring out in the debate.
I did a lot of media over the last several days, and everybody wants to know which Joe Biden's going to show up. And look, my summary is this. It doesn't matter if he drinks a whole gallon of energy drinks. He's not going to be able to match the acumen and the readiness of Donald Trump.
Yeah. So what is Biden going to do? Everyone's like, how's he going to get around the obvious? By the way, welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the Happy Patriots are. Click that subscribe button if you want to join our Happy Patriot throng celebrating the mockery of Joe Biden's awful debate performance.
And that's what we expect. Even if it's a 3-on-1 situation. I mean, obviously the CNN moderators have shown an open disdain for President Trump. Everybody's seen the tapes rolling of all their comments, so we know it's not a fair fight.
And I love this too. He's going to be on CNN later. And he's already said, like, the CNN debate's going to be 3-on-1. That is Biden and 2 debate moderators versus Trump. So Trump has to beat 3 Democrats in this debate. And I think he'll do fine because the people are on. That's the biggest thing, is the people are on to him.
Biden's still going to have to address America's concerns about his policies of high inflation and open borders and appeasement of our adversaries. Those are things that are on the hearts and minds of every American.
Did you catch that? Those are the 3 talking points: high inflation, our adversaries, and his open border. Those are the 3 points that are going to be hammered on by Trump. And the 4th point is going to be Biden's weakness, his actual physical weakness. So Mike Johnson's giving it away without realizing, this is what the debate's going to be about.
And I know he's spending all week to prepare for it, but I guess that's how much time it takes to figure out how to defend that disastrous record. Good luck with that.
That's about now. This is about Joe Biden's prep work, where he's not even at the White House. They've got him at Camp David, hooking him up to all the wires and tubes, and all the juices are flowing into his body. Who knows what he's going to get? Mike Johnson says it could be energy drinks or worse. CNN brings up that people are passing around the rumor that Biden's on coke.
And so it's a dangerous thing. I take no pleasure in saying it because our adversaries see that as well.
This is about Biden's weaknesses. Our adversaries see him as weak. It's not just funny. It's not just cute. Ha ha. It's Putin, Kim Jong-un, China, they all, Saudi Arabia, all of the Middle East are watching Biden going, now is the time to act. And they're hoping he wins again so they can continue to run roughshod on the earth.
I think that's a really important one as well.
But do you think some of the rhetoric, Speaker Johnson, I mean, just knowing you and how you conduct yourself, do you think some of the rhetoric is out of line when people from Trump's team are suggesting that Trump himself, that Biden is going to be on cocaine when he's on that debate stage Thursday night?
Would you put it past the Democrats to put Biden on coke if it meant that he would win the election, win the debate? Would they do that? Let me know in the comments below.
Look, there's a lot of things that are said in jest. Of course, no one expects that Joe Biden would be on cocaine, but they do ask questions, and I think they're objectively, I think it makes sense why people are asking, will he be on some sort of energy drinks or something?
Yeah, or something like human essence harvested from, I don't know. All I want to say, is there evidence of energy drinks being found at the White House? I'm trying to think back of a recent news where, did they find evidences of energy drinks recently at the White House, or did they find another substance at the actual White House where Joe Biden lives?
Okay, look, his energy levels, you can see, vary depending on what format he's in and what forum. And, we expect that he'll do what he did at the State of the Union. He had a lot of energy that night. So that's the Joe Biden I expect to see.
Yeah, one would say, I don't know, he was coked out. I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't put it above him. I don't put it beyond them. I don't know what they're going to put in his body. The Democrats will put whatever is needed to give him energy at that debate, to a point that they will not concede to a drug test. By the way, I'm only saying if it's all legal and all fine and all transparent, let's do a drug test. Trump will take one.
The question is, can he stay for 90 minutes on that stage and go toe-to-toe with President Trump, who, as you know, goes to rallies and talks for 2 hours on end without any break and any notes. So it'll be a very interesting thing to see.
Yeah, I mean, the allegations just about drugs have just been, frankly, ridiculous. And
No, not ridiculous. They found him at the White House. By the way, if they did a drug test on Trump, we know now that his energy is he eats Big Macs.
appropriators are not attempting to defund Jack Smith in their latest proposal today. How come?
Well, there's a lot of talk about how we get control of the out-of-control special counsels and I think many of the abuses that we've seen in the system. And there's real frustration about that. People see a two-tiered system of justice. That's how they describe it themselves. It's not a Republican talking point.
And this is an argument within the Republicans about how do you go after Jack Smith? Now, they've tried defunding him. Marjorie Taylor Greene is for it. I believe Thomas Massie is also for it. But kind of the more crunchy conservatives are more for it. Mike Johnson is not for it, but here's why. And he's called out as weak for it.
We have to look at what is actually a lawmaking exercise and not just a messaging exercise, because the times are too important. So a lot of ideas on how to do it. The jury's still out. We'll see.
It's not in the underlying bill. I mean, an amendment could be added, but if you really wanted it, you would just put it in the underlying bill. But if it is ultimately in there, is that just a messaging tactic because it's not actually going to go anywhere and defund the special counsel's office?
So what they're talking about is a strategy of this is what they always do, right? They put, they just throw things in a bill so that if the Democrats want, say, spending for Ukraine, and you'd put in it that you are going to defund Jack Smith. See, so that you give them something they want, and then you put something in that they don't want. Thomas Massie has specifically called out Mike Johnson for not being good at this tactic. So this is a legit criticism of one of our heroes, Mike Johnson. Is he being properly tactical and ruthless, even though he has this narrow majority?
No, look, it's not a question about what we want. We definitely want to bring the special counsel under control, but there's differences of opinion, even among House Republicans, on the best way to do that. Do you
But what's
defund
your
the
opinion?
entire special
counsel? Do you believe that you can do that,
program?
that you have the ability to do that?
No, look, I think there is a role for a special counsel function, and the purpose of it is because
I just want to show you how, he seems weak and mealy-mouthed, and this is kind of the way politics works, guys. This is one of the strategies that you can use. You put it in a bill, and there's fighting on our side. So I'm trying to bring that news to you that this is normal debate stuff, even within the Republican side of things.
it has an important function, but it has been abused. I mean, I think Jack Smith has abused his position and what he's done, and I think that bears investigation. I think the funding streams is an important part of that, and that's what Congress is very carefully and deliberately debating. How do you solve the problem without creating a bigger one? And that's what we're going through right now.
But are you still debating it if it's not going to be in that underlying proposal that came out from the House Appropriations Committee tonight? I mean, you previously suggested that would be a way to go after Jack Smith. So do you not believe any longer that that is a way to go after the special counsel's office here?
It's not that he doesn't believe in it. They've got two problems. Number one, they don't have enough of a majority to get it through. Chuck Schumer has to sign off on it. President Biden has to sign off on it. And they still want to go after Merrick Garland.
No, but it's not about what my personal belief is. It's about what we can actually get enacted into law. And obviously, Chuck Schumer in the Senate would probably not take that up. You and I can both guess that. And I'm sure President Biden would not sign it into law, right? So
is that a bad strategy for him to abandon it? Because Biden is not going to sign into law to allow them to defund Jack Smith.
We have to look at what's reality. I have the smallest margin in U.S. history for about 4.5 months here. I had a 1-vote margin. We are now at 3 because we had a new member take an oath of office tonight, a new Republican. So yeah. I'm excited about that. But look, it's the reality of the math that I've got to deal with every day. And what can we actually get enacted? We're trying to get appropriations bills done.
I mean, we've seen that playing out. Marjorie Taylor Greene tonight was saying it was a complete and utter failure of the Republican-controlled House by not doing that. She said she let you know that.
So do you agree in the comments below this is an utter failure? If Mike Johnson knows this isn't going to get passed by Schumer's not going to take it up, and so it's not going to get signed by Biden, even if it was taken up, signed into law, and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tom Massie are using this opportunity to go after Mike Johnson, This is tactics, guys.
But let me ask you about something else, Speaker Johnson, because we understand this evening that the House of Representatives is weighing in and actually taking an official position on what we're on the verge of seeing happening on Monday. Steve Bannon reporting to prison for defying a congressional subpoena and failing to respond to that.
Yeah, so Steve Bannon defied a subpoena. He's going to jail on Monday unless they intervene. Now, here's the news. Watch this. Here's the Hill. Speaker Mike Johnson to file brief supporting Bannon appeal in January 6th contempt case. There's Axios, Mike Johnson to back Steve Bannon Supreme Court. Here's the New Republic. Desperate, Mike Johnson leads wild moves to save Steve Bannon. They're going to try and do a rescue effort to keep Steve Bannon from going to jail. But here's the problem. They also want to prosecute Merrick Garland for defying contempt of Congress also. Same thing with Hunter Biden.
We'll be filing a brief in that legal proceeding. We think that's really important to do. We think the previous statement of the House under Speaker Pelosi was incorrect. We do not believe the January 6th special committee was properly constituted. We don't think it followed the House rules. And now we're finding under our own investigation that they may have in fact covered up some evidence. That's a great concern to a lot of people. You'll see a lengthy report come out on that.
That's on the January 6th crew. Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, the fake Republicans, and all Democrats, that it was an illegal counsel. And that's what went after Steve Bannon. That's how they're going to try and free him from prison with the Supreme Court.
But in the meantime, when they're using that to prosecute people, we think it's important for the House's position to be known, the current House, and that is that we don't believe that that was a proper committee, properly constituted, that did appropriate work. The court should take that into consideration, and I think we have an obligation to make that position known.
Do you worry that that will undercut your ability to enforce congressional subpoenas in the future, though?
No, not at all. You got two totally different matters. I mean, we're going to court, by the way, to enforce the subpoena against Merrick Garland.
Yes, get Merrick Garland. I'm for preserving that, even if you have to get throw Steve Bannon under the bus to do it, because Trump has to spring Steve Bannon. But I have a feeling the Supreme Court is going to undermine and destroy the entire January 6th committee put together by Nancy Pelosi, because it was illegal. It was not bipartisan. A lot of detail on this one, a lot of politics. As I educate myself, I'm just passing on the information to educate you. We love Mike Johnson, rooting for him. He may be in a little over his head, but man, he's doing good. I'm Doug in Exile.